Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can already see on the screen. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2025, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. This is your preview show looking ahead to Saturday's early kickoff at the Den. Hull City are the visitors, as always. Let's kick off the show by taking a look at the 11 that Alex Neil might pick to start the match. Okay, so no defeats in the last two games for Alex Neil. Of course, one was against National League side Dagenham and Redbridge last time out of a 3-0 win at the Den on Monday. And previous to that, we got a point on the road, a good point on the road as well, against Sheffield Wednesday 2-2 at Hillsborough. So what will the gaffer do? Any fresh injury worries? Femi Aziz, of course, limped out of the game, and I'm not overly confident the way he did hobble off. We really could do with him fit, of course, because it's not an injury worry, but no Romain Esse. That saga seems to go on. It hasn't completed yet to Crystal Palace. We would have expected it to be done by now, and I personally don't know anything, but I'm just assuming that from other news we're getting that other clubs are now in for Esse. Hopefully that will spark a bidding war and bump the price up, and then he fucks Palace off and goes somewhere else anyway. That's the dream. But well, the dream would be for him to stay, but let's be realistic, that isn't happening. So we're definitely, I always complain we've got a lack of firepower up front, and that's due to a lack of service from the wing. So if there is no Aziz and there is no Esse, but there will be no Esse, then it's going to be very difficult for us to try and create some chances. Of course, Aaron Connolly is now through the door, and I'm hoping that he might play in a 10. And of course, I'm hoping that Bangura Williams, look, he's come in, he's proved himself. Okay, he was a 75th minute substitute, but that electric goal that he scored and the confidence and the poise and the just ability to seem that he fits right into his surroundings, definitely for me, just let's fuck it, throw him in. That's basically what I'm getting at. This is the team that I would go with if I was Alex Neil. Jensen in goal, Ryan Leonard right back, Jake Cooper and Chaffin Tanganga the central defence pairing. I would personally start thinking about getting Danny Mack back in, because I think that back four with Danny Mack in it is just a proper old school tough Millwall back four, but I think it will be Joe Bryan. Not sure if Danny Mack is completely fit yet. In the centre of midfield, I'm expecting George Saville to come back in and partner Casper de Ballon d'Or. By the way, this is a little bit mixture of what he could do and what I would do. I would put Connolly in a 10 behind a big Serb, and then on the wings, I would have Bangura Williams. I don't really want Honeyman in there on the right. I think he's less of a fucking problem if you put him out on the right instead of in a 10. We had a very good run, didn't we, a few years ago with him and Vogelsammer on either wing. So, yeah, Honeyman sort of by default. I don't think he'll play Mayer and Bangura Williams. So, a little bit of both. I think he'll play Honeyman. And if you're going to play Honeyman, stick him out on the right. I'm not sure if Duncan Watmore's fit yet either. That, of course, is another option and player I would prefer than George Honeyman. It seems like I'm really hating on George Honeyman, but I'm not. I just don't think he's a 10. Like I said before, look, if there's ever an injury with Saville, Denor, Wintle, which I think is injured, and Mitchell, and you've got to play Honeyman in that centre of midfield, I ain't got an issue with that. But this 10 and these wide areas, you know, especially with the problems I've mentioned already in this video, is definitely an area to try and sort out in the long term. But in the short term, he'll probably play Honeyman on the right, I think, and it won't be a bad option in all seriousness. He does his defensive duties well, and as I said, he's out the fucking way. I mean, he can't cause too much havoc of giving the ball away in dangerous areas that we could hurt the opposition. So that's the team I think he'll go with. Let's move on to our opposition. As I've already mentioned, it's Hull City. Managed by Ruben Celes. He joined the club very recently after they got rid of Liam Rossini at the back end of last season, after he dragged them from the lower reaches of the division and just missing out on the playoffs. They replaced him with some German guy whose name I can't remember, and it doesn't really matter because they recently got rid of him and approached Celes from Reading after he had a good little run there. Tony Warner was the goalkeeper coach at Reading, said to me on many occasions that Celes is a very good manager and his work's not going to notice. He is their new gaffer, but it's going to take him time to sort things out. In their last 5 league games, they have won 2, lost 2 and drawn 1. Last time out was a very good point for them. They come from 3-1 down at home to Leeds to claw it back to 3-3 with the help, of course, with some very questionable goalkeeping from Millier, which sees Hull sitting 22nd in the table, in the highest of the relegation places. I've highlighted the bottom 5 there. Well, they are the bottom 5. There's no escaping it. But in our next 6 league games, we are playing all of those bottom 5. So we need to try and get some points on the board and build on what Alex Neil has come in and done. A couple of new players coming in hopefully will help that. But there's definitely some points there for the taking. The one to watch for Hull is that guy, Abu Kamara, the 21-year-old striker, annoyingly from Lambeth, scored 2 in the recent 3-3 draw against Leeds at the Hull, whatever it's called, stadium. Let's move on to a prediction. And so, this is your pre-match prediction, and here we go. I am going for a 2-1 Millwall win in the early kickoff. Don't forget, 12:30, because I didn't know until yesterday. I'm going to go for Javed Tanganga and the new boy Aaron Connolly to bag on his debut in a tight and tetchy but victorious 2-1 win. And so that's enough for this preview show. I hope that you have enjoyed it. All that's left for me to say is, and it gives me great pleasure to say, I will see you in beautiful South Bermondsey on Saturday. If you're going, if you can't make it, I'll be live streaming from around midday. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.